Hey guys, what's up? This is Adrian from Northlane and you're listening to Mr. Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff 90.7 FM. I'm very pleased to say that I'm backstage at the Solus music venue here in Cardiff. I'm joined by Sydney's Australia metal quartet. This is, of course, the wonderful Adrian of Northlane.
Hello, good to be here.
Hey, you right?
I'm great, mate. Yourself?
Not too bad, thanks.
Lovely.
Yeah, how's things?
Yeah, great, mate. It's still the start of the tour. I think it's like the 5th or 6th show now, maybe 5th, I believe. It's been a great tour so far and I'm excited to play tonight in Cardiff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Awesome. So, of course, as you just said, you're currently on a massive tour of the UK and mainland Europe. We're supporting UK metal giants Architects along with your very good friends American rockers Straight from the Path.
That's right.
We'll be doing a total of 35 massive shows until the end of April. And I bet you guys are extremely excited and eager to start this tour with the fact that many dates selling out weighing events and such an incredible lineup.
That's right. Like you said, the incredible lineup, Architects, Straight from the Path, Northlane and Landscapes, absolutely amazing lineup. And Architects are actually one of the reasons we started playing as a band. So to be on tour with them is literally a dream come true for us, and they're such nice guys and everyone's friends on this tour and everyone's getting along and having a good time.
And I imagine it must be a little bit surreal for you guys because when you started the band, you were massive Architect fans, even so much that you actually got named after one of their songs.
That's right. Northlane, the word Northlane was actually inspired by a song off Ruin. 2 words, Northlane, it was on their record, and we just took the space away and made it 1 word. And yeah, at the time, Architects were a huge influence on us, along with a lot of other bands. And I guess at the time we really didn't know where it would take us, let alone on tour with Architects themselves. So it's cool.
Yeah, I suppose you guys were really excited when you got the call to be on this tour.
Definitely. We had been trying to tour with Architects for a while. I believe they offered us an American tour a while ago, but for some reason or another, dates were clashing and we had different plans and it didn't end up happening. We were also supposed to play a show with them on the Protest Hero tour in the States. Our 2 tours were crossing. Ours was the Veil of Maya tour and theirs was the Protest the Hero tour, and they were supposed to meet up at 1 show. Unfortunately, Architects ended up pulling out halfway through that tour due to their own reasons which are understandable as well. So it was a shame we didn't get to meet them that day, but slowly but surely we ended up booking this tour of UK Europe with them, and it's an amazing tour to be on, of course.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And of course, over the last year or so, you guys have really exploded across the rock and metal scene in many countries around the globe since the release of your second full-length studio album, Singularity, in March of last year, in 2013, with having some incredible reviews and responses, forcing you guys to pretty much tour non-stop since its release.
That's pretty much right, mate. Last year was a very, very busy year for Northlane. We went to Canada, we went to Europe, we went to UK, we went to the United States, and even earlier this year we went back to the United States. We toured Australia again, pretty much been non-stop, doing the touring circuit ever since Singularity came out. Of course, we did a headline tour back in Australia, and only just after this tour will we have a couple weeks break before we do another headline tour of Australia.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very hectic, but there's no other way I'd rather it be, I guess. You know, it's good to be busy. We're on the road, touring with the right bands, making good friends, and it's very good times for Northlane.
Yeah, okay. Right, awesome. And listening to the album, and many fans have said this, but if you compare it to your previous album, Discoveries, it really shows that you guys kind of opened up to some different ideas and really incorporated more of a progressive and more melodic elements into your sound.
Yeah, that's right. I've been doing a lot more melody in my vocals, per se. That is taking form in a bit of clean singing and some pitch yelling as well, which I'm having a lot of fun doing, and you'll probably see more of it in the future as well. Also, on the music side of things, yeah, the boys are not afraid, especially John, our main songwriter, to explore, you know, more progressive, more melodic, the more melodic side of metal and metalcore. And it's really allowed us to sort of hash out a really unique sound of ours, a real sound that we can kind of call our own. But we're constantly looking to build on it and really forever searching to find out what we want to play and what type of music we want to write.
And because of this slightly different change, it's opened you more to a few more fans as well.
That's definitely right. It's good in a way because it helps us reach a broad spectrum of audience. We got, you know, the kids that really love their heavy breakdowns and all the metal kids. We've got some hardcore fans I know of as well because we have fast punky bits as well. Even people who might be into the softer, more, I guess you could say, popular forms of metalcore with the clean singing and the pitch yelling and stuff like that. So really we cover our bases and it's worked in our favor, I believe.
Yeah, fair enough. And the one thing I wanted to talk to you about was actually the fact that your title track from the album, Singularity, is actually an instrumental with extract of a speech by philosopher Terence McKenna.
That's right. I believe he's either Canadian Canadian or American. I believe he's American, but I know he does have ancestry in the Celtic bard sort of heritage, in particular Irish, I believe. And he was an amazing mind, very brilliant, more of a poet than anything. He was a scientist and a philosopher, but the way he spoke was beautiful, very poetic, and he just had a real hopeful vision of the future for the human race, which was very important at the time and still is today, especially when we look at the world. It can seem so bleak sometimes, and it can seem like we're on such a destructive path as a species. He's one of the many figures in my personal life that had been such an inspiration, and was probably one of the inspirations for calling the album Singularity as well.
So how come you guys decided to take an extract from his speech and put it onto one of your tracks on the record?
A number of reasons. He was an advocate for many things in the 60s and 70s, and he was definitely, like I said, inspirational. But more so, that exact speech was pretty much summed up what Singularity is about in a nutshell. The Singularity has sort of a double meaning, but in regards to the quote, it really is about you, the person, being the singular human being, the center of your own universe. And in today's world, especially with the news and media, we can be so bombarded by celebrity icons and celebrity worshipping. That's all well and good as long as you're not devoting too much of your time and too much of your energy to someone else's life, because it can end up leading you to be too distracted from your own goals and your own vision of success in your own personal life. That's what Terence encourages. He encourages people to stop consuming culture and start creating their own culture, whether that's music, business, whatever form that takes. He really encourages the individual to think and live and act for themselves rather than following what the cultural sort of institutions have ready for you on a silver platter. That's pretty much a summary of what my life has been like. It's been rejecting the traditional way of life and being a musician and touring on the road and, you know, going against the grain, so to speak. Like I said, it's very inspirational, especially a man who's passed away and who was so popular so long ago. Hearing that, it's echoing from so long ago. I can't believe that more people aren't aware of Terence McKenna, and I can't believe he isn't as popular as I thought he might have been. But at the same time, he really has captured what the Singularity sort of means to us in the record, and that's why we chose to use that quote.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, also on that record, you actually have a track called Masquerade, which features Drew York from Straight From The Path.
That's right. We're good friends with that band, of course. We toured with them in Canada, and we've maintained a healthy, connection with that band over the internet. It's great to finally be touring with them again.
Yeah.
We've been having a blast. The first night we got on this tour, everyone just had so many stories to exchange, and we're having a good old yarn. And they're lovely dudes with a very good message as well. I love their band name, Straight From The Path. It's all about, like I said, going against the grain and not, consuming all the bullshit that society tends to feed you, especially in regards to, I guess you could say, public relation for government institutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And has Drew been singing with you guys on this tour?
Not so far, but hopefully he'll make an appearance. It's just been the start of the tour, and everyone's still sort of finding their feet and getting comfortable. But as the tour goes on, I'm sure we're going to all start doing guest spots on each other's sets.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. And as I said, of course, you guys have pretty much toured non-stop since the release of the album. And of course, back in February, you went out on your first ever headline tour over in the US before embarking on the American Dream Tour with Bring Me the Horizon of Mice and Men and Issues throughout the stage of February and the beginning of March.
That's right. It was an absolutely amazing tour. We were the opening act for that tour. It was pretty tough being an opening act, but we had a lot of our fans come out to the shows. It was a great opportunity for us to expose ourselves to new fans. All the bands on that tour, once again, were absolutely friendly, lovely dudes who didn't mind hanging out. All the shows went well. We won over a lot of the crowds on that tour. We got to see more of America. We got to play bigger venues. Yeah, it was an all-round real good tour for us, but we also did, like you said, some headlining dates, which was a good way to sort of test the waters ourselves as a headlining act. We managed to pull some pretty impressive numbers for a heavy band for the first time there, judging off other tours that we'd been, and it was only us on this headline tour. We didn't book any other bands besides local acts. We wanted to give massive props to all the local bands that would have helped sell tickets and promote the event and made it the best possible experience for us.
Okay, right, fair enough. And there was some rumours going around online about that American Dream Tour that you actually convinced of Mice and Men vocalist Austin Child to do a song with you guys in the future.
That's rumours not true, unfortunately. But there has been rumours, good rumours, that we might be touring together in the future in UK, Europe, possibly.
Okay, well, fair enough then. And of course, now you guys are going to have a short break off touring, but then in May you're going to be heading out on your own mini festival called Free of Mind 2014. We'll be taking out fellow acts via Asmurta, Vale Major, Volumes, and Make the Suffer across Australia.
That's right, yep. We about to headline our own little festival in Australia with those bands, and it's been a long time coming. It's been in the works. We've been organising it for quite some time. It's going to be an absolutely huge tour. We're playing some of the biggest venues we've ever played in Australia. Some friends of ours as well, Volumes and Vale Major, Asmurta, and Make Them Suffer. It's going to be a great tour. I'm really looking forward to it, and we have a month off before this tour, so we're going to have a lot of downtime to really chill, calm before the storm, as they say. I've really been happy with all the promotion that's been happening. I even had the initial design for the tour flyer was inspired by drawings I'd done and things like that. I love getting involved as much as I can with the organizational aspect of the touring. Yeah, there's all these little fun. We're going to be doing meet and greets with fans, and we're going to have our two crew with us, our good friends Jared and Mitch, and they're going to make sure that we have an awesome time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, okay. And also on that tour, you guys are actually running a competition for Australian bands to open on different dates of the tour, giving back to the local music scene that supported you in such an amazing way.
That's right, yeah. We're running a competition to get some bands to open up for this tour. An opportunity that maybe not be available to bands in the past. It's sometimes hard, I know, being in a band to find good opportunities, and I think for an up-and-coming band in Australia, jumping on as an opening act can be a real good opportunity for a band to expose themselves to some new fans.
Okay, and I have to say, because over the last few years, Australian music scene has quite exploded really all over the world, because there's a lot of bands from Australia in the rock and metal scene, like Asmurta, Parkway Drive, and Tonight Alive have really just taken over the world really. So
yeah, that's right, and I think it's Parkway Drive definitely helped pave the road for bands to start touring in Australia. It really gave bands the courage and the motivation to get out there, learn the instruments, and put a band together and hit the road. And that's how being in a band begins. You know, you take chances, you take risks, you drive to places you've never been to before, you play shows to strangers. Sometimes they might be small shows, and that's something that you have to go through as an up and coming band. I know Parkway Drive went through that stuff when the first time they came to Europe and first time they came to the States. Yeah, now that there is a touring circuit in Australia, bands, you know, constantly touring, more and more bands are forming, and it's really creating a healthy sort of environment for bands to emerge and, you know, save up some money to go overseas and record albums at cool studios and things like that. With the amount of bands coming out, it makes sense that more and more good bands are going to start popping out of all these groups of local communities. You named a few, and a couple more that are, well, I guess you could say well established now. In Heart's Wake, Stories, and of course a name that you didn't mention is a big band already, is the Amity Affliction, who are absolutely tearing it up all over the world right now.
Yeah, okay, right, fair enough. I know just a couple more things, Adrian, before you go. After this tour, you guys actually stated that you'll return and begin work on the follow-up to the album. Have you guys started writing it yet?
Yeah, well, we've started writing for a third record, and it's sounding very promising. I'm actually super excited. It's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most out of anything. Although there's no type of release date, there's no real plans for it yet, but we are starting to write, and it's a very exciting time for us.
Okay, so obviously now for the next few months you're going to be very, very busy to prepare that album, so we probably won't see you back in the UK until 2015.
That's right, we probably won't be back till halfway through next year, unfortunately. But that being said, we do need some time off to write and record and spend time with family as well, because we, like you said, we have been touring our asses off for the past 3 years of our lives. So we're going to take a little break, I guess you could say, just to catch up with family and loved ones and get this third album on the way.
Yeah, and especially with this being a third full-length studio album, you want to make sure it's the best album you guys can possibly write.
Definitely, we want every album to be the best album we could possibly write, but yeah, this third album, we are still quite a young band, and we only have 2 albums out. Yeah, we want to make each one better than the last. Okay,
well, that's fair enough. Well, that's about it.
Lovely.
Cheers, Adrian, for taking time out to talk to us.
No worries, mate.
Good luck with the show tonight and the rest of the tour, and then hopefully I can catch up with you again very soon.
Of course. Thank you, Radio Cardiff.
Right, cheers.